Hey everyone. It's a gorgeous Santa Fe morning, and I I had something really interesting happen in the last day or two. I've maybe I don't know if I've said this on my posts, but I have an event coming up on my friend Kyle's platform. I'm going to be doing a musical event with him, or it's kind of like my event. I think he may end up participating some, but he's basically just asked me to do an event on his platform, which is amazing. And it's going to be super fun. And when I was thinking about what I was going to do and how to title it, what came to me was Cosmic Jazz Cabaret, which is the title of the very first musical show I ever did, I ever wrote. I co-wrote it with a collaborator in London, and we did it. We developed it for a couple years, and we wrote songs and we wrote sketches, and we sort of put together this loosely spiritually based cabaret. And it was really my entrance into musical theater in a lot of ways. I mean, I'd had plenty of exposure to opera and a fair amount of exposure to musicals, and obviously at that point I had 2 jazz degrees, so I was steeped in a lot of the music, but I had never written lyrics and I'd never really sung. And so that was really kind of my launch pad as into the form of music and theater that I now sort of consider my main way of working, the thing I've spent most of my time doing for the last 10 years. So really interesting to have that flash back through my mind and feel like, wow, I'm coming like full circle in some ways, and in other ways it's like leveling up. It's like going back to what I started with, which was motivated really by meditation and connection to the universe and that kind of philosophical rumination that I was doing a lot of at the time. And I feel like I'm not so much revisiting that phase of my own life, but I've definitely had a kind of real reconnection with what's most important to me and what's really the kind of foundation of what's driving me as a human being in the last, I'd say 6 months, year or so. And all of a sudden this idea pops back up into my awareness: Cosmic Jazz Cabaret. Here I am again. And that's just been a really fun thing to feel coming through me again. In a lot of ways, that show was really connected to some deep parts of me, and I think that's why I came up with that title. That's why the title, when I said it kind of felt right. In another way, it also brings me back into it kind of takes me back and forces me to reckon with a little bit of what happened back then. The way that my collaborator and I left it was not optimal, and I've actually sent her a message to ask about using the title, and we're going to talk about that and figure out whether she thinks that's appropriate. But all that is to say, it's opening up an area of myself where there's still some I think some things to be resolved. It's basically, if we're looking at my patterns and what my patterns, not just how they've been caused, but what they have caused, how I've engaged with the world, going back to my time in London, and that period of my development is a really important step in this process. And I feel like this cabaret that has just poofed into my world, that is now going to be an event that I'm participating in, that I'm creating. It's just giving me the opportunity to do that, and I feel ready to do that. That's the other thing that's come through today as I was sitting in meditation. I was like, anything that comes up around this, I know I'm ready for it. It may be painful, there may be stuff that's hard to look at, or not pleasant to look at, but it's right. It's time, and I'm ready, and I don't feel like I'm going to be overwhelmed by it. I know that I can handle this sort of observation, and maybe there'll even be some healing with some, other people in my life. So that's where I am today, folks. Cosmic Jazz Cabaret, maybe coming soon. to a screen near you. So, yeah, love you all. Can't wait to talk to you again very soon. Again, to anyone who watches these, I really appreciate it. It's so wonderful to have you in my life and receiving these messages from me. So, all the best. I'll see you soon.